What's good, everybody? Thank y'all again for tuning in to another episode of the Dope Sessions podcast. My name is Kelvy, and as always, I have a special guest with me just to chop it up, just for, to get information out there to people, just as far as the people I'm talking to, all of us indie cats that, need to push each other forward and let everybody see and hear and their work. And so this guest that I'm have with me is a dear brother to me, and I wanted to chop it up with him because there's things that I do know about him, and there's things that I don't know about him, and I wanted the opportunity for not only myself to learn about, but for everybody else to learn about too. So, ladies and gentlemen, give it up for my brother, Vaughn. What's going on, bro?
Good morning. What's going on, everybody? I appreciate you having me, man.
Hey, man, I appreciate you wanting to do it, bro.
Definitely, man. I've been watching what you've been doing. I haven't even known you for that long, you know what I'm saying? But we're connected.
Right.
We're connected through a few people here and there, and I just been watching what you've been doing, man. And we've been just like linking back and forth online, just chopping it up. And yeah, man, I've been appreciating your work. And when you came and said like, "Oh, love, have you on the show?" It's like a no-brainer. I'm like,
right, yeah. Hey, man, and myself as well. I've been an admirer of your work, and just the stuff that I've gotten to see and hear. I want you to just kind of like give an introduction to you as a person, to you as your work, because my introduction to you, and I'm pretty sure you've done tons of other things, but I'll start off with my introduction to you. Like you said, we know each other from like various different people, and one of those people that I do know you from is Drunken Monkey, and the stuff that I've seen, like videos, I've seen just like videos from like his album, and then the documentary that you did about Drunken Monkey. So just kind of just talk about your life, your work, and then just all of that, and then we'll just go from there.
yeah, man, just chime in and just interrupt me whenever you want, and I'll break it down.
Okay.
So yeah, that's funny. It's funny you should say that. With Drunk, man, that's funny because the kind of my whole origins of me coming to Chicago and me like developing and broadening my artistry here starts with Joe. It's funny. I'm from Detroit.
Okay.
I was born and raised in Detroit, Detroit, Michigan. I moved here around 06.
Okay.
I went to Columbia, and I graduated in 2010. But what's funny was when I was 15 years old, my cousin who went to Columbia brought me down here to visit the school. I was still in high school, and I was at the 623 building, and a performance was going on. And this guy comes out, and he's like sweating bullets, and he's like a behemoth, and he's like a god already comes out. And he looks at me, and he's like, "Yeah, what up, little fool?" So like that was my first time being drunk. My cousin introduced me. I was 15 years old. Fast forward to me moving here and going to college and not even really seeing him that much, but like once again knowing him and his work and his patterns through like a few people who I was like friends with, filmmakers and stuff. Because my buddy Amir did one of his couple of his videos too in the beginning. So I started doing a bunch of films, like just commercial shorts, some commercials. I did some stuff with Leo Burnett, and I worked with Common. Shot a lot of music videos. I got D2G was my first music video ever. Did a lot of stuff with my guy JD of Survive Inc. Robot Army. And Drunk was somebody that I always knew, but we didn't work together for at least until I was after living here for about like maybe 3 or 4 years. It took us a while to like merge and really feel each other out. But once we did, man, it was a fit, man. Like we worked together like almost too well, Like
yeah.
We went through a point in time when we were literally just like almost seeing each other every day, especially the documentary. Like I was shooting them on tap like every day, pretty much. Like just following him like a fly on the wall at all the performances at his house with his kids. So along adjacent to that with Drunk, I've done a lot of shorts. My last short, which was Silverhead, toured around the country a little bit. I got accepted into Slam Dance out in Utah, a couple places out in San Francisco and New Mexico. I'm very proud that it made it around. Still working. Obviously, this pandemic is making me change a lot of this stuff moving forward, but we all got to regroup. But yeah, man, just steady moving with just like writing a lot more now. Like I'm a director, producer, cinematographer. The thing about me and Drunk and music videos, when I was a music video director, I was a DP for the pictures all the time as well. So I was shooting them, editing them, directing them, real hands-on guy. You know, that's how I was kind of raised and how like my kind of education was, you know, kind of chopped up. Like I was really disciplined in trying to get all the, you know, the forms of filmmaking and kind of flesh them out and really, you know, become disciplined in them. Because even if I wasn't going to always edit or always be a DP, whoever I have in that vehicle seat, if they can't, you know, do the job, if anything happens, I need to be able to jump in.
Right,
you know, and take control of the wheel.
Mm-hmm. The first video that you directed for Drunk?
The first video I did for Drunk was, it's funny, I kind of produced and co-directed this video called Get It Off My Chest.
Okay.
And that was a video that like mostly my guy, Amir George, he directed most of it. That's my guy. Like we came up together at school. So like we've been on each other's sets, working with each other forever. So sometimes I'll shoot a little bit, but he takes, that's his video. That's sole credit. But I definitely provided the cameras and, you know, we just do stuff together. It's nothing. But the first video that I actually directed for him was, I think it was You God.
And that's kind of how I got introduced to you, was You God.
Yeah.
And I believe you directed another video from that album, which was Stir Fry Potato Chips. For those out there, check that out.
Yeah, man, Stir Fry album now. Get it now.
And I can't remember what the other video was that you directed from that album, but I do remember You God. I loved how cinematic that video is, because there are videos that you was like, oh, this is just a typical rap video, and it does have a performance to kind of bring you into that. Oh, this is a rap video, but it's very cinematic. It's like it's watching a movie to me, and that's what I appreciate about your style. And so then the next work that I was like, man, I really need to talk to this guy, was the documentary that you did about Drunk. So talk about that whole creation. Like, was that something that was in the works for a while, or was that just something that spontaneously happened?
Well, yeah, got you to kind of connect with the Stir Fry Potato Chips album. Yeah, we actually did like I think we did like 6 videos from that. I think I did like 6 videos from that album.
Okay.
And we did You God, Remember Me, My Life Matters, Leap of Faith, and I think Lotus Flower.
Okay.
And a couple of them had like 2 different versions. But, you know, and to say that's kind of how the documentary came about. You know, like we were kind of in a mode of really just like not necessarily mass producing stuff and just throwing it out, but we were in a different part in our lives. Like I said, in our relationship and our friendship, we really got a chance to, like, he was in a short film line before then, but like I said, I never did any videos. We were in a place in our relationship where he really trusted me now. So he gave me the keys. It was like, you know what? You got me. After You got, he was like, all right. And it was all off love, man. Like we were literally doing all that work all ourselves. And with the documentary, I looked at his life and a lot of things that he was going through at the time. And I don't know if it was a conversation we had where it was like, let's do the documentary, let's go. Like, but maybe I started filming, and maybe I introduced something to him and said, we got to just keep going with this or just like see how this unfolds. But I do know that it was a mutual decision. We were both like, let's keep going with this and let's keep filming. And it was all in like a kind of a consecutive like wave of energy with doing all those videos. Because we kind of shot all those like back to back in like the span of maybe a few months, and then the documentary just kind of like peeled over into that.
Okay. And the one thing that you know, everybody don't really talk about the direction of a documentary. And I really love the direction and just like the camera work and everything, and how everything sets up, you know, and I please, whatever y'all do, please check out the documentary. It's called No Manuals Included. It's the story about Drunken Monkey. And like for people that know, because Drunken Monkey has been on my podcast, like me and Drunk went to high school together, so there is some history. And you know, he's told the story about how me and him battled in the lunchroom and all of that. And so it was just a glimpse to the documentary was a glimpse into like a friend that, like, yes, like I you know, after high school we kind of lost touch, but then we kind of came back and started talking through, like, you know, Facebook and everything. And so the funny thing is, like, I used to hear about Drunken Monkey all the time, about how wild and animated he was, about how much of a dope live performer he was. And then one day he messaged me, and this is when me and him had been friends on Facebook for a while, and I still didn't put two and two together as far as who he was. And then one day he mentioned something, I was like, yeah, I remember you now. And so but the documentary was like it's like a really like deep dive into somebody that it was like I know of, but I didn't know fully. And I didn't know, you know, I wasn't aware of his music, the fact that he was one of Chicago's best performers, what he's done as far as like with hip hop, like all of the stuff that he was going through. It was a lot of stuff I was just like, wow, I did not know. I really did not know. And I thank you for him allowing you to like be that eye so that everybody could see this, you know. And the one thing about documentaries, especially with this one, is like it's so layered, and it's just like everything is out on the table. And so it's like, and as far as like, because with movies, it's like it's a person playing a character.
Right.
This is an actual person, so it's just like to really just like the balls to be like, you know what, I'm just gonna lay it out on the table, because as people, I think, you know, there are some people that are out there and will be like, yo, I don't care, you know, I want everybody to know me. And then there's some people that just like, I'm private. And for that documentary to like push itself forward, like I kudos to you, and kudos to Drunk for that. So was there like in that creation of the documentary, was there a process like was there a process of like, okay, let's do it like this, or was it just because of the videos, then it was like, okay, let's just go ahead and do this documentary?
You know, man, Kevin, I really appreciate that, man. I appreciate that insight into the work. The thing about No Manuals is, bro, and you say that, and you work so fast on all this stuff, man. Like I constantly am always working on something, whether I'm paused on it or keeping it going, and you don't look back a lot of times. You know what I'm saying? And I'm so immensely proud of that documentary, because like I said, it's like I was having like an out of body experience almost when it was done. Like when we set up a premiere for it, and we like it was like I met this guy when I was a kid. You know, I was 15. Now I'm like following him around. I'm like meeting his kids. I'm like shooting in his living room, and he's sleeping on the couch and like all this stuff. You know, So yeah, like the thing about how the documentary started, and it's fun. I'm glad you said that because I have to route my brain into like back into that mode. Okay, so Cujo was this boy that they ran like Tweak Central Radio with when he was at Tweak Central Radio and he was doing it like every Sunday. So when he did Tweak Central Radios, he'll be there at the studio every Sunday. And that's kind of where it started because I would go and I would just start filming him on Tweet Central Sundays because we used to just be doing the videos, you know what I'm saying, and chopping it up. I go there, we kick it for a minute. I definitely feel like thinking about it, it routed to those Kung Fu Sundays and like going to the studio with him in Tweet Central Lounge and the radio and filming him and Cujo, just like seeing the energy. And then it's funny because it's funny how like things happen at like the right time, you know, like because the documentary finds like kind of like an arc because it's like a storytelling arc that starts like go along with it because you're filming a life and you're filming like a fly on the wall and situations that are happening in real time, you know.
Right.
So they actually were getting ready to move the studio. They moved to like a different studio space that was like a little bit over on Chicago Avenue.
Right.
So it was a great thing to like have this arc where in the beginning they started out in this one building and then we see all these things that Drunk is going through. We go through all these performances, we go through all these trials that's going on, and then we go to like the arc at the end where they go to this new space and they got like a new studio space and everything is open, everything is like got a lot of new energy. We ended up having the premiere there and the break down a whole room. It was really great. We had a great turnout. Yeah, man. So I feel like it started there, and yeah, we just had to find like an arc of it, and that was all up to me, like just filling in the small parts in between, you know, through editing and through like other kind of like just creative things going on. It took a while to do the documentary. It was an immense, a lot of footage. A lot of footage isn't even in the movie. I cut a lot out. We said that we were adamant. It was like we want to make a feature, like we want a feature documentary. And we didn't even know what we was doing. We didn't even know what the platform was going to be for. I was like, this on some digital stuff.
Sorry about that.
No worries, man. No worries.
Yeah, my nephew's in his e-learning stuff for his school. Chicago public schools get on my nerves. Like,
I'm telling you, man, everybody is scrambling. My daughter, the same thing. It's such a hard like switch right now because of all the online classes and everything. The kids are running rampant. Everybody don't get that stuff is not getting turned in on time. The email's not coming through right.
Right. It's and the funny thing is, because when everything started shutting down, I had to go to his school to get this like huge packets of like books and homework that he was supposed to do. Yeah. So he was doing that in the beginning, and then like all of a sudden it was just like, no, they supposed to be doing the e-learning stuff. So then I said, why in the hell did I have to do all of this stuff? Like they should have just been doing the e-learning stuff, you know. And so now it's a lot, but yeah. But so like so you were saying like you had to kind of find like the arc of the story.
Yeah, I kind of once I saw that and once I knew that they were moving, once I knew that Drunk was moving, because like the Minnesota move, like when he said that he was moving to Minnesota, that was like almost to like the middle of filming. Like we had probably already filmed a good grip of it. We probably filmed from like, I want to say like maybe October, you know, getting maybe October to like January, February, off and on, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, it was weird. It was like I saw it. I was like, okay, we got something. And I was determined to like stretch it as much as I can. Like let's make this a full body, well-rounded. And my intent was like this is it's like a digital feature. Like this is your life feature. I didn't necessarily know or think we were gonna do like a big festival run.
Right.
I think Drunk wanted a big festival run with it. We tried to put it in a few places, but we didn't have too much luck. So we kind of we did our premiere. We did a couple other premieres. We did a couple premieres actually, which was great. And we just did it, keep it online. Still may do some retrospects, you know what I'm saying, coming up and do it some other ways.
Yeah.
But as you can already tell now, like shit, it's all digital now. Everybody's like this and on Zoom and everything, yeah.
talk about your film work, because again, like I said, there are some things that I didn't know as far as with you. I didn't know that there was other film work before,
Oh yeah.
Everything came.
Oh
But
yeah.
but like just looking at the way that you direct the videos and direct this documentary, I'm like, yo, you got it. Like, you got it, bro. And like, so just kind of talk about like the film work you've done, like whether it was DPing or just like the stuff that you've done, on your own.
Sure. Okay. So yeah, I appreciate it, man. Kelvin, I go back to high school with being very, very disciplined and being real serious about filmmaking. And when I was a senior in high school, I was chosen to direct. Our school put on a whole new program of like a feature film program, like with everybody involved in the school, from the band program, the thespians, actors, everything.
Mm-hmm.
So costume designers. So they wanted to do a feature, like we're gonna do a whole movie. Kids come together, students, and a teacher of mine, rest his soul, Micah Green, one of my mentors. He saw one of my documentaries. I was doing a short. He saw one of my documentaries, and he was like, this kid's good, So he approached me and he was like, yo, we're putting together this program. Mm-hmm. We took a poll. I didn't get the job immediately. I would say, we want you to help co-write it. But they chose me to direct and co-write, and they still do this program to this day at the high school. And so that was my first like real gig. And I got a chance to learn real shit, like real stuff on site of how you need to like really be like not only disciplined, but you need to know how to take off hats and know when to adjust for certain jobs and situations. I had a scene in the film where it was a scene about suicide that was going on with a young girl. The entire school board wasn't having it. So they came on me. I'm 16, 17 years old. They came on me. We don't like this scene, change it. The day of the film premiere in high school, we had to change the script, rewrite scenes, film it again. It was whack. Like it was so the movie is whack, but it's great. So that was a great learning experience, like really early on in the beginning, man, of knowing how to deal with politics of filmmaking and knowing how to deal with adjustments, really spot on the job. Fast forward a little bit to college when I came out here in Columbia. I hit the ground running and I started doing music videos. I wasn't doing any shorts. That film I did in high school was probably like, that was the last thing I did until I started doing shorts and stuff again later on. I started doing music videos. I started doing a lot of those. I was really engaged in doing them because it was almost like sharpening the pen. It's like sharpening the sword every time I do a video, because I sharpen my cinematography skills, I sharpen my editing skills, and I would take that and, have that be like influence later on, maybe even not years later, for like a new film, just learning new things about angles and about, about palettes and about, structures and stuff for like visuals. And did a lot of music videos. Before the DSLR wave and the Chief Keef wave and everything came in, I saw that coming, and I was like, all right, it's about to be time to push back, because I saw something that was coming. I appreciate you meaning about the eye of the cinematographer, because that's real, man. It's like that kind of it's a lost artwork now of really seeing palettes and colors and knowing how to and knowing how to use that with the music well, because it is about like joining that with the music and having it like merge into like this whole piece of art, So I saw that. I saw people just like not really caring about cinematography and stuff that much, and just like because I came up on Hype Williams and Lil X and all these guys. So I cater after that. Like I love those visuals and stuff. Like Melina, all these people, and I've realized, okay, don't nobody care about that no more. It's like I see where we're going with it. And I respect it, you know what I'm saying? Like I said, I'm in the films heavy, so I'm always going to be doing that. I'm always going to be a writer. I'm always going to be a director. I'm always going to be a producer.
Right.
Drunk was actually before we ever did a video, we did a film together. He was in a film of mine. I've not even seen it. I don't think you've seen it. This film I did called August the Terrible. and it's a really great movie. I'm gonna send it to you when you get off here.
Okay.
It was the first time we worked together besides a video, and this is where we came together. It's great. We made it around. We did a good festival run with this one back in 2011, 2012. Went to New York, a few places, a lot of shows in Chicago.
Okay.
Really great, man. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing it, bro.
Yeah, man, definitely.
Talk about a little bit about the music, because that's another thing that I was introduced to you was not only your work with Drunken Monkey, but your music as well, and Richard. And I told you this, I was just like, Rich, I love that Richard album. What was the inspiration for the style of music that you do? What was the inspiration for Richard? And I know that you have another album that you're working on. Just get, we can get into that as well.
Yeah, for sure. So like, yeah, man, with Richard, we put out last year around August. I worked on that for probably about like 2 years or so, and I've been doing music. I've been producing and composing maybe for like almost 10 years now. I started with doing the films. I started composing the films and such. So like when you hear the music in Silverhead, or you hear August the Terrible, that's all me.
Okay.
So like I started with working on my own stuff. Like I'm on a little laptop.
You know what?
Contract.
And that goes back to what I said, and I'll let you continue, but I just have to say this real quick. Again, when I heard Richard and I heard the new song that you let me listen to, I got like score vibes.
Yeah.
I got a lot of score vibes to it, and that's why I loved it. But go ahead.
I appreciate it, bro. That's the thing. Yeah, like Richard was kind of like, I was really trying to form up my own solo identity of like a project. The thing about with me in music, I'm gonna go back a little bit. I started to perform with a small group that I know, these guys that I met up. This guy, a friend of mine, Matthew, who did the poster for my last film, Silverhead. I met him randomly, and then he just ended up doing music as well. So we ended up chopping it up, and he heard some of the score music, was really feeling it. I heard some of his music, likewise, and he's like, man, you should come and record some stuff and lay some vocals down. I'm like, what? I'm like, I don't really do vocals. Who does that? He's like, you should do it. So we started to link up and do some stuff. Adjacent to that, which you may not know about, a lot of people don't know about, I was in a really bad bus accident, maybe 8 years ago. So I was kind of on the low. I'm gonna just be short about this. I was doing a lot of litigation and like a lot of just a lot of surveillance, so people like watching me and stuff.
Right.
So like I couldn't do everything I needed to do fully because like I had to like be kind of off the grid. But I was still making a lot of stuff. Like I made Silverhead in the midst of all that like surveillance and litigation. People follow me and shit and having to go to court and all this settlement stuff. But I met those guys and we started doing so much music, and the energy was like just getting so large and was getting so bright. I couldn't help it. So like they had shows and we had tried to come perform with us. So I'll be up there sweating my ass off with a mask, like, cause I didn't want nobody seeing me. I'm worried about people taking pictures. And I'm gonna find out they were really in the vicinity. So I'm on stage wearing a mask and like trying to hide myself most of the time. And we had great shows. Like my first show I ever did, like I threw up on the side of the stage. It was great because like it was a great learning moment. My second show almost got booed off stage, which was great. It was a great learning moment.
Right.
It was perfect, man. It's the kind of things you need and you want as a artist. Because I treat music really serious. That's why I don't broadcast it too much, because I'm trying to get like really, really good at it before I'm super confident with my films and with everything. Right. Like with music, I'm still super confident, but I'm like trying to get it. I know how hard and I know how endearing like music is to human life. You know what I'm saying?
Right. So,
yeah. I take it very seriously. For Richard, I was really trying to figure out what I was trying to say in terms of the sonics, in terms of like what I was putting together, and a lot of people had that interpretation. It sounds like it's gonna be a movie. It sounds like you can score stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But going forward, like the next album isn't like that. Pretty much, like this album is definitely more vocals, and it's definitely more like performing. I am making a lot of other stuff that's still like akin to the soundtrack and score stuff.
Mm-hmm.
That's always what I'm be. Like I said, I'm gonna be doing that forever. Like
right.
That's forever work. So yeah.
Yeah, man, and I'm looking forward to hearing the new project. Y'all want to check out Richard? It's on SoundCloud. Do
Yeah.
yourself a favor, go check that out.
Yeah, I need to stop being a bum. Like, I need to get on. I gotta get on Spotify and iTunes and banking. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying. Like, I gotta get on there and like know how to do that stuff. And I'm about to. I'm gonna do all of it because like my guy Surfboard, he hit me. He was like, after Richard came on, he was like, man, you gotta put this on Spotify.
Right.
I'm like, I had to hit you. I'm like, think about the clearances and the samples and stuff. I got samples on the next record too. So it's like, you gotta think about it. Either way though, the music will be out. You know, the music will be out soon. I'm working hard on finishing it. I think we're almost done. I'm trying to get it out this month.
Okay. Something that you brought up about you know, like being confident, like you said, like being confident in your film work, but then like music is something totally different because because like don't get me wrong, like there are movies, you know, with you being a filmmaker, you know, you are like soaked in film and film knowledge and everything. So there are films that you just like, man, this film changed my life because of this. And the same thing for me as well. But with music, it's something different because it's like even with me putting out the album that I did, I was just like, man, like I was like, even though I was felt like, man, I'm glad I got this out here. It was that thing of like, man, it's like, I wonder what they gonna think about it, what people gonna think about it. It's one of those things, and like I said, don't get me wrong either, y'all. Like, it's the same thing with movies too, but movies is like it's something different because it's like there's this idea that no matter if anybody else don't like it, I mess with it because it's the idea that I fleshed out. It's the idea that I wanted to do, and I put it out there on you know, just for people to watch it. And with music, it is something totally different. It really is. It's like because like I've talked about this before. Like even with my album, I kept worrying about like people gonna think this shit is too emo. Like, you know, people gonna say this, people gonna say that, and then I think like a little bit, I started to say, well, I don't really care, but then like quietly, I'm like, I care a little bit, you know.
Yeah. I mean, you know, I mean, I think artists like we care, like we do care. We want people. This is a collaboration, man. Like it's just I'm sorry, that's the wrong word. This is contribution. You know, as artists, and you think about like how many things have been like recorded just in the span of like human life in general, like that you've heard, that you haven't heard, that's just laying around, especially since we went analog and all this stuff is digital now. Everything is everywhere. We have like thousands of new songs a day that come out from all over the world. You think about how many things of like we've done as like artists and as humans, and we're just contributing, man. You know, like that's all we're doing is contributing, like to a long line of all these people. And what degree that it breaks and that people accept it, it's out of our hands. You know, when we put it out, that is our baby, and it's to the world now. And we do want people to experience it. We want people to enjoy it. You know, I feel like we gotta enjoy it first. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you a fan of your shit, like. You good. Like I appreciate like this new record, like because I know it's better than the last one. Like all my progression, I'm like, I want to get better. I want people to say I don't want people to say, oh, it sounds like, I just want to say it's great. You know?
Right. You have to be number one, you have to be a fan of your own stuff. And you have to be to like, because like I've even told my musical partner Virgo, I was just like, yo, like if we didn't enjoy this album, we wouldn't have put it out.
Yeah.
I don't care if anybody else would have been like, yo, man, the songs are banging. Like, if we didn't like it, it wouldn't be out. And I think that's important because you have to love your stuff.
You have to get excited about it, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
You really have to love your stuff, man. Like, going through the coronavirus, you know, a lot of indie artists, a lot of artists are kind of suffering right now, but a lot of indie artists who kind of, you know, are, you know, the road warriors and you know, but like, how are you being able to stay? Because I know you're doing a new album, but how are you still able to just be so creative with everything that's going on right now?
Man, Kelly, I collect a lot of books. I collect a lot of movies. I'm an avid. I'm mad I don't have a stack. I might just bring you a stack right now. I should bring you a stack right now. I'm an avid film collector.
Yeah.
I have a lot of things that I shan't not be bored. You know, like
right.
I got too much shit to do to like be influenced by, to take, to gain energy from, that I already know about, that I'm still learning about.
Mm-hmm.
I can't be. I hate. I don't deal with that. Like, I got too much to do to be bored. Some need to be mixed. Some need to be, you know, that
right.
snare, that synth needs to be changed. Mm-hmm. Something always needs to be done. The script needs to be written. You know.
Right.
Staying motivated. Oh man, that's easy. Yeah, because I take from I learn from so many people, from like artists, not just filmmakers, like contemporary and traditional artists and painters and sculptors and anything like you, like artists. Like, when I heard that album, man, that I gotta put the Black Cinema on there real quick, because like, man, you, bro, like, when you rap, like, you have this presence that like you've been here already for like 20 years rapping. You know what I'm saying? Like, you have a crazy voice on the mic, on the ear, recording. And I'm gonna tell you something, man. Like, and I know this. Like, that's one of the most important X factors in a variable of a recording artist, especially a rapper, is how your voice cuts on the track, bro. You have that voice that's like, yo, you gone. Like, it's perfect. It's perfect. And that shit matters.
Yeah.
That shit really matters. Because some people, we need a lot of, I hate how my voice sounds on record. So like, I pitch myself different sometimes, or I add this or add that, but not trying to dilute it too much that it's like all electronic. You know what I'm saying? But it feels like you don't even need shit for you. Like, you just, you in there. I love the album, bro. Love your album. You guys,
thank you, bro.
It's a great. That's pure hip hop, man. It's real music.
Oh, thank you, man. I really appreciate it, man. Like, and I enjoy your work. Like, and like, so for you to say that to me, like, I like, that's a humbling thing for me, man. Like, you know. My final question would be, other than the new album that you're working on, what's next for you, as far as like, is there another movie? Is there, like, you know, because I'm ready for it. Like, I'm ready for it. Like,
yeah. Don't, brother. Everything coming.
Yeah.
They happy. They should be happy this coronavirus happened. Because I was getting off the bench. We was getting ready to shoot in March or April. Everything got shut down, obviously. So, you know, we got to regroup and, you know, redistribute a couple of ideas. It's funny how this stuff happens, because while all this was going on, and, you know, the process of the production and photography being started breaking down, and because the actors, I was like, all right, we're on pause. I got a chance to rethink and rescope like one of the ideas of the script, and I found it. Like, sometimes, and with scripts and movies, it's like this code you need. Like, sometimes you need this code. It's like, when you find it, it's like, okay, I found the movie. Like, now I got the movie. Now, and this is an idea I've been working on, and there's another idea starring Drunken Monkey coming up.
Mm-hmm.
And I've been working on it for a while, and I've been changing for a while. It's been through so many different reiterations, and now I found it. So new films coming. I'm actually I'm getting started on working on probably my last short. I'm really adamant on, especially now, everything that's going on, dude, like with the theaters, you know, basically about to bottle up and everything changing. My dream was always, as a filmmaker, is Friday night, man. Like, that's my dream, is to have my movie in theaters on Friday night.
Yeah,
like, people,
yeah.
And I'm still not gonna stop striving for it. It's like, but I know now, it's like, okay, if you ain't got $300, $400 million bag under your movie, you're probably not gonna go to theaters in like the next 4 years. You know?
Right. And see, that's one of the reasons why I dig you so much as a movie buff, because it's like I've told friends, like I told some of my friends, I was like, I don't mind going to see a movie like Thursday late night when it's the right movie to go see, like on a Thursday late night. But it's something about that Friday opening day. It's just something about it, like.
It's nothing like it, man. It's nothing like it. And this is like a slow knife in the stomach, man, because it's like I'm watching it happen in real time. And it's like we knew it. Like, the people who work inside of this were like, we know where the industry is going. We know how much digital and how much streaming has impacted all of us. The great attributes to it, as much as what it takes away from, as far as a communal theatrical experience. But man, it's like, this. If they needed a final punch to the gut, like, this was it right here. Because we got movies coming out. We got movies like Tenet. We've got Christopher Nolan coming out. We got 007. Certain things. The rest of the films that come out this year are going to be such a deciding factor of how they're moving forward in terms of how they're going to be distributing and releasing things, because the numbers are already going to be cut down, like, for the films that are going to come out, especially within the next like 2 or 3 months. Like, if Tenet was gonna make 600, 700 mil, you can probably guess it's gonna probably do 300, 400.
Right.
Maybe. We don't know yet. You know what I'm saying? And these things, they matter to the model of the business. Unfortunately, it's like, and if there's no people going to see it, it's like rent. It's like studio theaters and stuff. It's like a house like rent. If we can't pay, if there ain't nobody in here, we can't pay for it.
Right. Yeah. Thank you so much for coming on the podcast, bro. I really appreciate you, bro. Like, just tell everybody where they can hear your music, where they can see your films, everything.
Definitely. My music right now, because I'm a lazy intermediate shit, and I'm starting to get on more platforms. You can listen to music on SoundCloud under Lewis Willard. The new album is coming soon. I hope everybody get a chance to listen to it. I'll definitely forward it to my man Kelvy. And the films, I'm on Vimeo, kind of here and there. We're going to be popping up soon with like a more official website and things in the future. Like I said, I had to like come off of being like scatterbrained and like just scatter release and stuff because of my litigation case. So like stuff is kind of in incognito names and places.
Right.
People like the people I collaborate with, like especially Drunk and a few other people, they take it upon themselves to always post this stuff and put it up. So you can find a lot of my stuff on Drunken Monkey's page and stuff like that. But we're gonna be coming out with a lot more work soon, you know. And I would definitely love to come back here, man, all the time.
Oh man. Oh, of course, man. And yeah, man. Like even if it's just like just us just talking, you know what I'm saying? Not no interview, just us talking, bro. Like I'm always gonna have you on here, bro. And thank you again for coming through to the podcast. And I want to thank y'all for watching. Also, for those that don't know, every artist that I've gotten a chance to interview on this podcast, I have created a playlist on Spotify. It's the Dope Sessions playlist. I've handpicked 3 of my favorite songs from each artist. It's got Drunken Monkey on there. It's got Black Cinema. It's got Joe JB. It's got Ingrid Danielle. Amanda Joyce, K Soul, Microphone Misfits. So check out that playlist. I'm hopefully as soon as he gets on Spotify, I'm a pick my favorites. We're gonna put it on the playlist.
Yeah,
man. And man, yeah, bro. And thank y'all again for watching. I'll see y'all next time on the podcast. Peace.